Have you ever felt a pain so deep it threatened to extinguish your own light? A grief so heavy it felt like a storm that would never end. I want to tell you a story today. A story about a man, a storm, and a light that refused to go out. It's a story that might just change the way you see your own struggles. Picture this. A rugged coastline. Waves crashing against jagged cliffs, and standing tall against the fury of the sea. A solitary lighthouse. Inside lives a man named Elias. For years, he has been the keeper of the light, a silent guardian for sailors navigating these treacherous waters. But Elias carries a storm within him, one that mirrors the tempests he so often witnesses outside his window. Years ago, a storm of unimaginable ferocity swept through this very coast. It was a night just like this one, with howling winds and waves that seemed to claw at the sky. That night, Elias lost everything. His wife and his young daughter were on a small boat, caught in the storm's sudden, violent embrace. Despite his desperate prayers, despite the beam of his lighthouse cutting through the rain, they never returned. The sea that he had dedicated his life to serving had taken from him the two people he loved most. From that day on, the lighthouse became both his sanctuary and his prison. The light he tended every night was a constant, painful reminder of the light that had been extinguished in his own life. The rhythmic sweep of the beam across the dark water felt like a metronome, counting the seconds, the minutes, the years of his grief. The townsfolk whispered about him. They called him the ghost of the coast, a man haunted by his past, forever bound to his tower of sorrow. Elias rarely spoke. His world had shrunk to the circular rooms of the lighthouse, the winding stairs, and the great lamp at the top. Each night, he'd polish the lens until it shone, his reflection, a gaunt, somber face staring back at him. He was just going through the motions, a hollow man performing a duty that now felt meaningless. What was the point of saving others when he couldn't save his own? The question echoed in the empty rooms, a constant, tormenting refrain. Then, one evening, the sky began to darken with a familiar, ominous shade of gray. The weather reports started crackling over the radio, each one more dire than the last. They called it the storm of the century. Meteorologists used words like unprecedented and catastrophic. The wind began to howl, a low, mournful sound that quickly escalated into a terrifying shriek. The local Coast Guard radioed Elias. "Elias, you need to evacuate. This storm is a monster. We're pulling everyone off the coast. The tower won't hold." An old friend, a fisherman named Silas, got on the line. "Elias, please. There's no sense in staying. It's just a light. It's not worth your life. Come back to the mainland. We'll wait for you." Every rational thought told Elias to go. The wind was already rattling the thick glass of the lantern room. The base of the lighthouse shuddered with each mountainous wave that smashed against it. The sea was roaring, a beast awakened and hungry. Leaving was the logical thing to do, the sensible thing. But as he stood there, looking out at the churning chaos, something shifted within him. He saw the ghost of that other storm, the one that had stolen his family. He felt the same crushing helplessness, the same icy dread. This time, he wasn't just a grieving husband and dad. He was the Lighthouse Keeper. He grabbed the radio. "Negative, Silas. I'm staying." The voice on the other end pleaded, but Elias was resolute. "The light stays on," he said, his voice firm for the first time in years. He cut the transmission. Alone in the tower, the storm raged with a fury he'd never seen. The sound was deafening, a constant, physical assault. The tower swayed, groaning under the pressure. Water began to seep through ancient cracks in the stone. He thought of his wife, her warm smile. He thought of his daughter, her laughter echoing in his memory. The pain was immense, a fresh wave of grief that threatened to pull him under. He could have surrendered to it. He could have let the darkness in his heart finally join the darkness outside. But then, he looked at the lamp, the giant, intricate mechanism of gears and lenses that he knew so well. It was his duty. It was his promise. In that instant, the pain he had carried for so long began to transform. It was no longer just a burden. It turned into motivation. He wasn't just tending a light to guide nameless, faceless ships. He was fighting back against the very storm that had shattered his world. Every turn of the crank to keep the mechanism going, every wipe of the sea spray from the glass, was an act of defiance. He poured all his sorrow, all his anger, all his lost love into that single, solitary task: keep the light burning. He worked through the night, a man possessed by a newfound purpose. He wasn't just a ghost in a tower anymore. He was a warrior. He was a guardian. The beam of light sliced through the torrential rain and the blackness, a steady, unwavering pulse. It was a heartbeat in the middle of chaos. It was a declaration that even in the darkest night, there's always a glimmer of hope. There is a way through. The storm finally broke with the dawn. The sky, exhausted and bruised, slowly lightened. Elias, weary to his bones, but with a fire in his eyes, looked out from his perch. The sea was still angry, but the worst was over. The world was quiet again. Later that day, the rescue reports started coming in. A passenger ferry, its navigation systems fried by the storm, had been blown miles off course, heading straight for a notorious reef. The captain said, "We were blind, lost. We thought we were done for. And then we saw it. A light, faint at first, then is stronger. It was the old lighthouse. It guided us through a safe channel we never would have found. It saved us." Then another report. A fleet of fishing boats, caught out at sea, had been scattered by the storm. They had lost all bearings, but they rallied around the single point of light on the horizon. They used Elias's beam as their North Star, a beacon to gather around and ride out the storm together. The reports kept coming. In total, over 300 people, men, women, children, who were lost in that terrifying darkness, had found their way to safety because one man refused to let his light go out. When the rescuers finally reached the lighthouse, they found Elias not as a ghost, but as a hero. Silas, his old friend, embraced him, tears in his eyes. "You, madman," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved them all." Elias just looked out at the now calm sea and said softly, "I just kept the light on." The story of Elias and the storm isn't just a tale about a lighthouse. It's a metaphor for our own lives. We all have storms. We all have pain, grief, and moments of darkness that make us want to give up, to let our own light go out. We feel like our suffering is just that, suffering, pointless and isolating. But Elias's story teaches us something profound. Your pain, your deepest wounds, the very things that have broken you, they can become your greatest strength. They give you a unique empathy, a unique understanding of the darkness. When you choose to stand in your own storm and keep your light on, you aren't just doing it for yourself. That light, your experience, your resilience, your story, can become a beacon for others who are lost in their own storm. By turning your pain into purpose, you can guide people through reefs you've already navigated. You can show them the way through a darkness you've already known. Your survival can become someone else's salvation. So, whatever storm you're facing right now, remember the Lighthouse Keeper. Don't just endure your pain. Use it, transform it. Let it become the fuel that keeps your light burning brightly. You never know who is out there in the dark, lost at sea, looking for your light to guide them home. Your purpose might be found in the very heart of your pain. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that helps us find the light in the darkness. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you've turned your own pain into purpose. Until next time, keep your light shining.